Good morning, America, for our viewers in the West. Dangerous heat for Los Angeles, a Memorial Day getaway, and we raise a glass to a beloved star. Trail of destruction overnight.
Look at the debris flying.
At least 11 tornadoes reported in 4 states. In Alabama, people scramble for cover. This morning, Ginger tracking it all, including the late season New England nor'easter.
Breaking overnight, a Fitz fugitive caught in a New Orleans jailbreak. A murder suspect back in custody as a maintenance worker faces charges for allegedly helping the 10 inmates escape.
Memorial Day travel set to take off. How the chaos at our nation's airports will impact what's expected to be a record year in the air as the FAA orders Newark to significantly cut back flights. How it could have a ripple effect nationwide. Plus, the points guy is here with ways to save on your summer getaway. With airfare, hotels, car rental, all down. And we'll tell you the cheapest day to fly this summer.
Sherri Papini, in her own words, the California mother of 2 who served time for faking her own disappearance, speaking out for the first time.
The Sherri Papini that's out there, it's not me. She's not real.
What she now says happened.
Runaway truck. Dashcam video captures a dump truck going off the road, taking out a telephone pole before slamming into a home. The aftermath this morning.
Going for the gold. NFL stars getting a shot at Olympic glory in flag football. Will your favorite player join Team USA?
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
And we say cheers to George Wendt, celebrating the man best known as the role that earned him 6 straight Emmy nominations.
How does a beer sound, Norm? I don't know, Coach. I usually finish them before they get a word in.
This morning, we're going back to where everybody knows his name.
Live from Times Square, it's Wednesday. Good Morning America.
Oh, that music brings us back, and we are remembering George Wendt this morning. Good morning, America. Hope you all are doing well.
Yes, but we're going to begin today with another round of severe weather that happened overnight.
At least 11 reported tornadoes touching down across 4 states. Morgan Norwood is in Madison, Alabama for us. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, good morning to you, Robin. This neighborhood here in Madison taking a direct hit by a reported tornado. Take a look at some of the debris here. You're actually looking at parts of a roof that was ripped off of this home right here to my left, almost peeled away like a can opener. Further down the street, let me show you. It's lined with downed trees. And this morning, the same system that caused all of the damage that you see here on the move once again.
Overnight, that powerful storm system unleashing another round of destructive tornadoes.
Oh my gosh, that's a freaking tornado.
This twister touching down in Madison, Alabama. Onlookers scrambling for cover. In Waterloo, sirens blasting as this tornado formed over the treetops. Trees down in Athens, snarling traffic for miles. In Jackson, Tennessee, debris scattered across the sky after a reported twister tore through.
Look at the debris flying.
It's all a part of the same system that's already spawned 32 tornadoes across 9 states in the past 48 hours. This surveillance video from the London Corbin Airport in Kentucky capturing the moment an EF4 tornado with winds up to 170 miles per hour ripped through on Friday, killing 19. Officials confirming this is the deadliest tornado on record for eastern Kentucky.
And this morning, as the cleanup continues across the storm zone, more than 65,000 customers without power from Georgia to Missouri. Michael?
All right, Morgan, thank you for that. And the heavy rain is moving into the East Coast this morning. Let's turn to Ginger with the track and timing of that storm. Yeah, good morning, Ginger.
That's the good news, Michael, is that the tornado threat is done, so we can all kind of rest easy there. Do I think that the system is done with us? No, and that would be with impacts especially to travel. You can see some of the thunderstorms still making their way through Alabama and Georgia, but it's Virginia where Washington, D.C. will wake up with some heavy rains and then the wind. This is the part that's going to kind of spin up and become more than just some passing showers, especially as we get through Thursday. Watch what happens. The Philadelphia up to New York City, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. The gusts could be 20 to even 50 miles per hour, especially at the coast. Boston, 2 p.m. on Thursday. If you have flights in the afternoon, they will likely be impacted, if not delayed, right? So watch what happens here by This is Friday, 8 a.m. Bar Harbor's still getting it. We are going to get rid of this system by Saturday, and there'll be some lingering showers. Sunday looks drier, but before we could do that, we've got to leave behind 1 to 3 inches. Pittsburgh is in a flood watch because of this.
Oh, wow. Okay, Ginger, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to breaking news overnight in the New Orleans jailbreak. A 5th fugitive was caught as a maintenance worker at the correctional facility, faces charges for helping the 10 inmates escape. Faith Abube is in New Orleans with the latest. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, George. That 5th escaped inmate was captured last night at his grandmother's apartment, but a source tells ABC that it doesn't appear that the grandmother knew that she was harboring a fugitive.
Overnight, another fugitive on the run from the New Orleans jailbreak captured. This as authorities expand the investigation into whether the massive security breach was an inside job. A 4th jail employee now suspended, another booked into jail, accused of helping the inmates by shutting off water to this toilet so the group could escape through a hole behind the wall.
10 violent offenders don't make their escape through concrete, rebar, and barbed wire without there being some sort of inside assistance.
According to court documents, Sterling Williams confessed to investigators, claiming he did it because one of the inmates threatened to shank him.
If he was under threat, then he certainly should have brought that to someone else's attention.
Nearly a week since the jailbreak, 5 of the 10 escapees still on the run. New surveillance video showing 3 of the fugitive inmates in an alley an hour after they all escaped. One of them, convicted killer Derek Groves.
He's proven he's willing to kill.
Meantime, victims of the fugitive inmates on edge. One of them opening up about his concerns while asking ABC to only use his voice.
I was thinking about getting out of town because this guy could come back and look for my address and come in and shoot me, on a couch.
Well, Robin, the suspects are moving too quickly from one hiding place to another. But investigators say the public is helping, including an Uber driver who picked up at least one of the fugitives and then tipped off investigators. Robin.
Hopefully the public will continue to help. All right. Faith, thank you. We're going to go overseas now to the new Israeli strikes in Gaza as the humanitarian crisis there grows. Our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, is tracking the latest for us. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. Israel's now under massive pressure from its allies over its escalating bombing inside Gaza, but in particular, the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian crisis there. The UN warning that as many as 14,000 babies could die in the next 48 hours. Israel blocking all food and medicines now for nearly 3 months, saying it's trying to pressure Hamas to release hostages, including, of course, the 4 Americans believed to be dead. But now Canada, Britain and France condemning Israel's war. And President Trump also acknowledging people in Gaza are starving. Under pressure, Israel is now allowing some aid in, but the UN says none of it has been distributed yet. The situation, though, on the children's wards in Gaza's beleaguered hospitals are grim, with many newborn infants severely underweight. And as talks in Qatar reach another ceasefire, they appear to be going nowhere. There are fears that Israel's about to launch another major land offensive, which will only make the situation even worse. Michael?
Yeah, make it much worse there, Ian. Thank you for bringing that to us. And now we're going to turn to the latest deportation battle for the Trump administration. A federal judge is demanding answers about whether migrants were deported to South Sudan without due process, violated one of his orders. Our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, has the story for us. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Michael. This morning, the conflict between the Trump administration and the federal courts just got worse. This time, a federal judge in Boston is threatening criminal sanctions against administration personnel and others for deporting migrants without due process to South Sudan, a nation on the brink of civil war.
Overnight, a federal judge in Boston demanded answers from the Trump administration about whether the government has deported migrants to South Sudan in violation of immigration law. Lawyers representing a group of migrants say that at least 2 of them, one from Myanmar, the other from Vietnam, have been told they would be sent to the war-torn East African country without having had an opportunity required by law to contest their removal on the basis of a fear that their lives or freedom could be threatened there. According to the New York Times, Judge Brian Murphy said sending the migrants to South Sudan would likely violate an order he issued last month that directed the administration not to remove individuals to any other country beyond the 2 they are allowed to designate in immigration proceedings without giving them at least 15 days to challenge their removals. An attorney for the Justice Department says the migrant from Myanmar has been returned to that country, but he is declining to share any information about the other individual. And when asked by the judge where the plane is, the DOJ lawyer responded, "I'm told that information is classified, and I'm told that the final destination is also classified." Judge Murphy is now warning that those involved in the deportations who were aware of his previous order, quote, including potentially the pilots, could face criminal sanctions, according to the New York Times. Jonathan Ryan, one of the attorneys representing the migrant from Myanmar, was at Tuesday's hearing.
This judge was very specific in ordering the government not to relinquish custody of any individual who was being brought to a third country.
This showdown is the latest stemming from the administration's aggressive deportation tactics, deporting hundreds of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador in March.
We are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. The further away from America, the better, so they can't come back across the border.
The judge in Boston has now ordered the administration to keep custody of any of those migrants who have already been deported to South Sudan so that they can be returned to the U.S. if he decides this operation was unlawful. George?
Terry Moran, thanks. We're going to get the latest now on President Trump's budget bill, with Republicans still divided on the mix of tax cuts and spending cuts. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the latest. Good morning, Mary.
George, good morning. Well, after a marathon session that lasted throughout the night, House Republicans have finally advanced the president's bill. It does now head to the House floor for a full vote. That could happen as soon as today, but this fight is far from over. The president this morning trying to convince those Republican holdouts to fall in line. Overnight on Capitol Hill, a marathon effort to advance the president's economic agenda.
This is an historic moment. We believe it's a generational opportunity to reclaim the American promise, to renew the American spirit and restore America's greatness.
If Republicans are so proud of what is in this bill, then why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night?
The package of tax cuts and immigration spending, now officially called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, still far from a done deal. The president facing holdouts in his own party.
I think we're going to get everything we want, and I think we're going to have a great victory.
On the Hill yesterday, Trump personally pressuring Republicans to get behind the bill, which would extend the 2017 Trump tax cuts, lift the federal income tax on tips and overtime work, provide $50 billion to resume construction of Trump's border wall, and slash federal spending by more than $1.5 trillion, including cuts to Medicaid, which would leave an estimated 8 million Americans without health insurance over a decade. But for several hardline Republicans, it doesn't go far enough. They're demanding even steeper cuts. Behind closed doors, sources tell us the president warned Republicans don't expletive with Medicaid. Trump telling Republicans to get on board or risk a primary challenge, warning that anyone who won't fall in line, quote, wouldn't be a Republican much longer.
Anybody that didn't support it as a Republican, I would consider to be a fool.
But several Republicans still not sold.
Where are you on this bill?
I'm leaning maybe. I liked what he said about the Medicaid.
Did the president change your vote, sir?
He did a great job.
Did he change your vote?
He did a great job.
Now, with a narrow margin in the House, Speaker Johnson can only afford to lose 3 votes. And even if he does ultimately get this through the House, the bill still faces a real uphill battle over in the Senate, where the legislation is expected to face major changes. The bottom line here, George, this morning, there is still a long road ahead.
There is. And yesterday, Mary, the president also announced his intention to pursue a missile defense system.
Yeah, George, look, we know that the president has long praised Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. It's exactly what he wants to create here, what he's calling the Golden Dome missile defense system. He's unveiling plans for this ambitious project, predicting he can get it done by the end of his term. The president has said that this was his suggestion, not the commander's, but he says they are now on board with this. He's predicting it will cost billions, but the Congressional Budget Office says it could cost more than $500 billion.
And
George.
of course, Congress would have to approve all of that. Okay, Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Robin?
And George, now to celebrating the life of one of television's most beloved stars, George Wendt, who walked into Cheers and everyone always knew his name. Lara is here with a look at the life and career of the man who played Norm.
Yeah, he sure did. And in real life, he was the uncle of Jason Sudeikis. But long before Ted Lasso, Wendt won the hearts of America playing beer-loving barfly Norm Peterson for all 11 seasons on Cheers.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name.
From the moment he set foot in America's favorite bar, everyone not only knew his name, they were delighted that he came.
Afternoon, everybody.
For 11 seasons on the top-rated sitcom Cheers, George Wendt's Norm Peterson hunkered down in the same spot every single Thursday night.
It's nice to meet you. What do you do, Norm?
I sit there.
Wanting nothing more than a beer and his buddies.
Some people spend their whole lives in a bar. Just yesterday, some guy sat right here next to me for 11 hours.
The role would earn Wendt 6 consecutive Emmy nominations for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series.
Hey, Mr. Peterson, what do you say to a cold one? See you later, Vera. I'll be at Cheers.
He would go on to lend that well-honed barfly persona to the Chicago superfans on SNL.
The Bears. The Bears.
Becoming a pop culture staple in the process.
I don't believe it. This is so cool.
Wendt sat down with Good Morning America and our Charlie Gibson at the height of the show's popularity.
I did a great deal of preparation for that role. You know, it was a lifetime.
Lived the part.
Yeah. You know, I did put on like 75 pounds for the role, much like Robert De Niro did for Raging Bull.
I know. Well, you have to make these sacrifices, and probably learn to drink a little beer. Yeah.
George Wendt was born on the south side of Chicago. Graduating from Rockhurst College, he went on to join the Second City Improv Group. Then one day his agent called to say he should audition for a part on a show where he would only have one word, and that word was beer. And that show, with its 117 Emmy nominations and 28 wins, would change not only his life, but also TV forever. 93 million people were glued to their TVs when Norm helped Sam close down the bar for the very last time.
You know what I think the most important thing in life is? It's love. You want to know what I love?
Beer, Norm?
Yeah, that was a quick one. Well, Sammy, I love that stool.
In a statement, Ted Danson said, "I am devastated to hear that Georgie is no longer with us. It's going to take me a long time to get used to this. I love you, Georgie."
You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
His family says George Wendt passed away peacefully in his sleep. He was 76 years old, and he was married to the same woman for 46 of them. His wife, Bernadette, who he met at Second City in Chicago, she was actually the voice of Vera, Norm's wife on Cheers. Never seen, but mentioned often by Norm, who knew he was probably in trouble for spending so much time saddling up at the bar with his pals. We'll have more tributes to George coming up, guys.
Oh, that was great. I didn't know about the Jason Sudeikis thing, but once you mention it, you see it in his face. You see the resemblance.
When he did De Beers, Ted Lasso, we saw it. Yeah, wonderful actor.
He sure was. Thank you, Lara. Coming up, Matt Gutman has an exclusive first look at the new docuseries on Sherri Papini, speaking for the first time about her kidnapping hoax. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Georgia, despite confessing that her 2016 kidnapping was a hoax, supermom Sherri Papini doubling down, insisting she was kidnapped. And coming up, I'll tell you who she's pointing the finger at now.
All right. Thank you. Plus, the Memorial Day travel rush as one of the nation's busiest airports faces new trouble. But the points guy, Brian Kelly, he's also here with how to land the biggest savings.
The Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy is in the house. Yeah, we're going to tell you about the NBA Conference Finals when we come back.
Cause it feels so mystical, magical, oh baby, cause once you know my love is so...
Back here on GMA, yes, Benson Boone singing us into Wednesday with his single, Mystical Magical. And this morning, Spotify reveals their top picks for 2025 Song of the Summer. Did he make the cut? Larry's going to break it down. Some of the top tracks ahead of us. I'm pretty sure he's on the list.
Yeah, pretty safe bet. Okay, but you know, we want to get right to the Memorial Day travel rush. It's getting underway. A record number of Americans are expected to travel over the long holiday weekend. Our Janae Norman is watching the roads, but first let's go to Trevor Alt at LAX with what flyers can expect. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael, and we are now in this Memorial Day travel rush beginning this morning. There's 49,000 flights scheduled across the country today. This United plane here is going to take off for Hawaii later this morning. And all of this travel, of course, is happening in the midst of what have been some headaches, particularly at Newark Airport outside New York City. This week they had another ATC outage. They've had staffing shortages, construction, all of it contributing to some pretty significant flight delays. So the FAA has now ordered Newark Airport to scale back substantially its flight schedule. The goal is to try to free up some airspace and hopefully make that schedule more reliable, although that is now raising some questions as to what the ripple effect could be for the schedules at airports all over the country. And that's really important because for the next several days, it is going to be very busy. AAA is predicting more than 3.6 million passengers flying for the Memorial Day weekend. That's a 12% increase from pre-pandemic levels. Tomorrow could be the busiest day. 54,000 flights scheduled nationwide. United Airlines by themselves says for this Memorial Day weekend, they are expecting one of their planes to take off every 20 seconds, carrying 4 million total passengers, which is more than 300,000 more than they had travel last Memorial Day weekend. The summer travel season starts now, George.
Okay, Trevor, thanks. That's the air. Now let's go to the roads. Janae Norman at a gas station here in New York. Hey, Janae.
Hey, George, the place to get gas and snacks before people hit the road, and AAA is expecting it to be a record-breaking weekend on the roads with an estimated 39.4 million Americans expected to travel by car this weekend. That is the highest number since AAA began keeping track back in 2000 and a 4% increase since last year. As is typical on these holiday weekends, AAA says mornings are the best time to hit the roads to avoid traffic. Afternoons are expected to be much more congested. Across the board, from Thursday to Monday, experts recommend getting on the road before 2 p.m. and they suggest even earlier, closer to 11 a.m. if possible, to really try to get a head start. And good news with gas prices. This is expected to be the cheapest Memorial Day weekend for gas prices that we've seen in 2 decades when adjusted for inflation. Soon the average cost for a gallon of gas could drop below $3. Right now it's hovering just about $3.17, $3.18 a gallon, guys.
Yeah, that is great news. Okay, Janae, thanks so much. We're going to bring in the points guy, Brian Kelly. Always good to have you with us.
I've got more great news, too.
I love that.
To airfare, we've got
all the
deals.
prices are going down. I mean, airfares, car rentals, hotels.
Yeah,
what's the trend here?
Gas prices are really good. So, it's going to be a record-setting holiday travel weekend, but that's mostly due to more road travelers. In the skies, I have not seen this many deals since the peak days of the pandemic. American Airlines is running a fare sale as low as 5,000 miles a ticket for peak August and September travel. So that's really rare to start the busy summer travel season when the airlines make all their money, running with discounts. And even for paid fares, here's a key tip. Try to fly on Wednesdays and Saturdays this summer. I love a Saturday return, by the way. Give yourself that extra day to acclimate instead of, because you're going to get delayed on a Sunday and you're going to undo all of that good juju from your vacation. But we're seeing really good fares, sub $300. There's a new airport in Tulum. So if you're used to going to Cancun or Cabo, try out Tulum. There's lots of adventure there. And for family travel, we're seeing $275 to Costa Rica. And there are all these gorgeous new resorts that have opened up in the last year. So lots of good deals out there.
And you mentioned the cheapest days to fly, but are those the best deals we're seeing, or you got more?
Oh, no. I mean, there's even Europe this summer. And remember, the U.S. dollar is still really strong. I was seeing peak summer dates this year, $500 to $600 to go to Ireland and London. And, some of those are on the low-cost carriers. But let me remind you, even the full fare carriers, the Deltas and Americans, they've raised their fees on bags too. So there's great deals out there. But this might be the summer to go to Europe, because last several years, Europe travel just kept going up and up and up. I've talked to a lot of travel advisors, and even on the hotel front, hotel prices are coming down, and a lot of hotels are offering extra perks. So when you're looking at the price of a hotel, don't just look at the room rate, especially at resorts, because sometimes there's all those added fees.
Yeah.
But the government, if you've been searching for hotels this week, last week the government junk fee new legislation went into place, meaning when you search for hotels and Airbnbs, the total price will display. So at first it can seem like sticker shock, like what the heck, everything's more expensive, but it's actually just to show you the total price of hotels, which makes it easier to compare and contrast.
I prefer
that. I like that more. I hate all those costs. How about cruises?
Cruises, cruising is up. Alaska cruises this year are the big trend. Celebrity Cruises has a 20% off, but that's more towards fall booking. But here's my thing with cruises. You can still get great deals, but make cruise travel agents compete for your business. There's a website, cruisecompete.com, and you can put in the cruise you want to go on, and they can bid on your business. So once again, the price of the cruise they can compete on, but some of these travel advisors can add in extra perks, free drink packages. So make them work for your business.
What's that website again?
Cruisecompete.com.
Cruisecompete.com.
Well, no one's competing with you when it comes to giving us the best deal. That's what we're talking about. Thank you, Brian.
Well, Sherri Papini, California mom who pleaded guilty to faking her 2016 kidnapping, is now speaking in her first interview. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is in Los Angeles with an exclusive first look at the new docuseries. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. That's right. In this docuseries, Sherri Papini insists she is not the master manipulator who tricked the world. She insists there's an entirely different side of the kidnapping hoax that nobody knew about. So she doesn't quite come clean, instead dishing the dirt on the person she claims is really responsible.
Hello, I'm Sherri Papini. Nice to finally meet you.
This morning, that exclusive first look at Sherri Papini speaking out for the first time.
The Sherri Papini that's out there, it's not me. She's not real. It's just this version of me that has been created to fit the narrative for the media's version of what happened.
In the ID series, Sherri Papini caught in the lie, the so-called supermom sharing another version of that infamous 2016 kidnapping hoax that captivated the country.
The story that the world thinks they know is that I am a master manipulator who's fooled everyone. That's my magic wand. Sorry. I'm gonna do ridiculous things because some of this is ridiculous.
In November 2016, Papini seemed to vanish without a trace while out for a jog. Her then-husband, Keith, and law enforcement leading a massive search. And 22 days after she vanished, Sherri Papini reappeared on the side of the road, shackled, bruised, and branded. She claimed she'd been abducted by 2 Hispanic women. It's a lie she maintained for 6 years, but it fell apart when DNA evidence led authorities to this man, James Reyes, a former boyfriend of Papini's, who said she stayed with him for those 22 days. Reyes telling investigators he didn't know about her kidnapping hoax and that Sherri told him she just wanted to get away from her husband.
I didn't kidnap her, I just, friend in need asked me for help.
In April of 2022, Papini pleading guilty to lying to federal investigators about her disappearance. She signed a plea deal saying she knowingly planned and participated in her own hoax kidnapping. Now Papini changing her story yet again, claiming she really was abducted and assaulted by James Reyes.
There was no master plan. There was no hoax kidnapping. There was a cover-up of what happened. And I participated in the cover-up.
Reyes had previously told investigators that Papini caused her own injuries and that at her request, he branded her with a wood-burning tool. Investigators say he passed a polygraph test and was duped by Papini.
You're a convicted liar, so tell me why we should believe you now.
Haven't you ever lied? Have you ever lied in your history of existence? And then has that lie been blown up and broadcasted around the world? It's so much more complex than just pointing the finger and saying, you're a liar. And I wish more than anything I could have been more truthful.
Reyes has never been charged with a crime. ABC News tried to reach out to Reyes but didn't get a response. Local authorities also declining to comment on Papini's new allegations.
The Sherri I met, and I think the Sherri viewers are going to see, is a very different version. She's been through therapy. She's been through prison. She's hit rock bottom. She doesn't have a lot to lose, and we really put her through it.
Now, both Keith and Sherri have dueling docuseries out telling their sides of the story. And in the background of all of this is this brutal custody battle between Sherri and Keith. After her conviction, Keith was granted full custody of their 2 kids. Now Sherri's petitioning the courts for more visitation. But as Keith says, the biggest victims in all of this are their 2 children. guys.
Yeah, kind of gets lost in all of this.
That's true.
All right, thank you, Matt. Now, with the NFL owners meeting and voting to allow players to participate in flag football at the 2028 Olympics, Lara's back with the story. You, Robin, the commercial break, and giving us your
because flag football, it's all about speed and juking, right?
Yeah.
You'll see it done much better at the Olympics. Good morning to you all. So we've seen NFL players compete at the Olympics, sometimes in track and field, but never on the football field. But that is about to change.
Oh, boy.
This morning, the NFL announcing an historic opportunity for their players to represent Team USA for the first time.
It's truly the next step in making NFL football and football a global sport. For our players, we think it's a tremendous opportunity for them to represent their country, to compete for a gold medal, which is the pinnacle of global sports.
The owners approving a resolution allowing one player from each NFL team to play for their country when flag football comes to the Summer Olympics for the first time in Los Angeles 2028.
The chances of, playing in the Olympics and, getting a gold medal is a dream.
Minnesota Vikings players Justin Jefferson and Brian Asamoah have been waiting for this moment.
You have the opportunity to represent your country playing flag football, and, the excitement, the joy, and the appreciation.
While tackle football remains a uniquely American sport, flag football has caught on all over the world, for women as well as men.
Back in the end zone.
For the LA Olympics, there will be 10 players per team in both the men and women's flag football events.
5 has it and in for the touchdown.
The NFL believes highlighting flag football on an international stage will do for football what 1992's Olympic NBA Dream Team did for basketball.
That's what they're hoping, and there is a professional men's flag football league. Each Olympic roster can only carry 10 players at a time, so will the NFL or the flag players get priority? All of that needs to be worked out, guys.
Need to be the best players to get on the field.
There you
regardless.
go. Simple.
Yeah, 10 players, a lot of competition.
You're hired.
We'll be right back. Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Trail of destruction overnight.
Look at the debris flying.
At least 11 tornadoes reported across 4 states. In Alabama, people scramble for cover. This morning, Ginger tracking it all, including the late-season New England nor'easter.
Hailey Bieber talking about experiencing a postpartum medical emergency after the birth of her son. What she said about the complication, and what she's revealing about Justin Bieber.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
Everybody knew his name. This morning, we celebrate the life and legacy of George Wendt, the beloved Norm from Cheers, how his co-stars from across the years are remembering him, along with a whole new generation of fans.
The thunder booming.
Caruso, three-pointer.
The big prize on the line is here in Times Square. You know his name.
Larry, thanks for coming. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Who will defy gravity and take it home?
And Lilo and Stitch are back. The live-action movie is about to zoom into theaters, and young star Maia Kealoha is here, telling us about taking on the beloved role.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good.
As we say,
live from Times Square, it's Wednesday. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America. How can you not laugh and smile at that? I love it. It's a Lilo and Stitch takeover. Stitch is being created mayhem here in Times Square ever since he pulled in this morning. Look at that. But we can't wait to chat with his young co-star, Maia Kealoha, who plays Lilo. It's going to be fun.
Adorable. Also here this morning, Robin Arzón. She is bringing us a new series that's called Strong Mama, and she is. This morning, she's going to break down what new moms should keep in mind when it comes to movement.
First, look at the top stories breaking 8. We start with another round of severe weather overnight. At least 11 tornadoes reported in 4 states. Ginger has the latest. Good morning, Ginger.
Hey, good morning, George. One of those tornadoes right there in Athens, Alabama. Some of the condensation goes away for a time, but it's still kicking up debris and unfortunately making damage. And that's what we saw. More than 2,100 severe storm reports in just the last week. One of those now, the deadly one, 19 people killed in London, Kentucky, has been rated an EF4 with winds up to 170 miles per hour. Eastern Kentucky telling us that that is the deadliest tornado on record there. Unfortunately, we still have this system. The good news is the tornado part is dying a little. Eastern North Carolina has a little pocket of chance today, and southwestern Pennsylvania into West Virginia. Watch for the tornadoes there. But most of this is dying out as to just normal thunderstorms that will make its way through the mid-Atlantic, rounds of it through Philadelphia and New York. Heavier on Thursday, especially from New York to the north. You can see it there added up in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. It's not just the rain, it's the wind, Robin, that I really think could start impacting some of the flights and definitely the roads. 30 to 50 mile per hour gusts. It leaves us with somewhere between 1 and 3 inches. We do have a few flood watches near Pittsburgh as well.
That could really impact travel. Okay, Ginger, thank you. Now to breaking news from Target. The retail giant just released earnings with so much focus right now on rising prices from President Trump's tariffs. Eva Pilgrim is here with what the company said. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Sales at Target are down. The retail giant releasing its first quarter numbers this morning, seeing a pretty sizable dip, $23.8 billion compared to $24.5 billion for the same time last year. The CEO calling this a highly challenging environment, saying it's not satisfied with recent performance, announcing it's made leadership changes and created a new acceleration office to make faster progress. The company now announcing it expects sales will be worse than previously projected, saying customers just aren't shopping as much for non-essentials, citing backlash for ending diversity initiatives and uncertainty over those tariffs. But they didn't give details on price increases because of tariffs, at least for now, instead saying it would continue to make adjustments to pricing. Meanwhile, other companies recently announcing more positive numbers. Walmart and Home Depot both reported steady sales, maintaining their sales expectations for the year. Walmart warning, though, we will see prices begin to go up in its stores because of tariffs. Michael.
It's inevitable. All right. Thank you so much for that, Eva. Going to turn now to the dash cam video capturing a dump truck plowing into a home in New Jersey. The vehicle reportedly traveling around 50 miles per hour that left the roadway. It struck a telephone pole before slamming into the house. The owner of the truck company said the driver had a medical emergency before the crash. No serious injuries were reported, but the home was demolished.
Well, that was lucky, though.
Yeah, very lucky.
Okay, we're going to turn now to the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Cassie Ventura's mother took the stand yesterday as new testimony is about to begin this morning. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky at the courthouse. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. The jury could hear from Grammy-winning rapper Kid Cudi, real name Scott Muscudi, as soon as this week. He briefly dated Cassie Ventura at the end of 2011, and she testified that the relationship made Sean Combs angry. At one point, she said he threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car, and she sent an email to her mom about it that Regina Ventura testified made her physically sick. The message, read aloud in open court, said Combs is going to release 2 explicit sex tapes of me and hurt me and Scott Muscudi physically. Regina Ventura testified, I was scared for my daughter's safety. She wired Combs $20,000 after she said he demanded it to recoup money he had spent on her. Eventually, that money was sent back. Ventura said she took these photos of her daughter after Cassie told her mom Combs beat her. She was bruised, and I wanted to make sure that we memorialized it. Prosecutors allege the violence gave Combs coercive power over Ventura that he used to force her into sex acts with male escorts. He denied that. Court resumes with a federal agent back on the witness stand, showing the jury items that he said were seized from Combs' Miami Beach home, including 2 AR-15 assault-style rifles with the face serial numbers found on the same bedroom shelves as lingerie, baby oil, lubricant, and 7-inch platform heels. George?
A lot of details there. And okay, thanks very much, Michael.
Yeah, we're going to turn now to the NBA playoffs. The Thunder winning game 1 against the Timberwolves, while the Knicks and Pacers get ready for the big game tonight. Will Reeve is here with a little bit more in the playoffs. You got a little friend with you there.
I brought my friend Larry with me. We'll get to him in just a second. But first, we'll get to Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, which were on ESPN last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder were the best team by a fairly wide margin in the regular season, and they showed why last night. It was a thorough dismantling of the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Thunder just overwhelming. MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 31 points. The whole team chipping in on offense and defense. The Timberwolves have a superstar, too, in Anthony Edwards. He did have an injury scare with a tweaked ankle. He came back. He was held to just 18 points. He only made 5 shots. Oklahoma City wins 114-88. They are now 3 wins away from their first finals appearance since 2012. And tonight in New York City is Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks hosting the Indiana Pacers. That's a rematch of last year's second round, which the Pacers won in 7 games. This is a classic NBA rivalry, too. Between 1993 and 2000, the teams met in the playoffs 6 times, each team winning 3 series. Robin knows what's going on. There's Spike Lee and Reggie Miller, one of the all-time NBA rivalries.
Wait for it.
Is he? Yeah, that's a classic move. I bet that will be brought up on the broadcast a whole bunch of times because Reggie Miller is on the broadcast. As far as the players on the court, on the floor, now the Pacers are led by Tyrese Halliburton and a really solid cast of supporting characters. The Knicks have Mr. Clutch, Jalen Brunson, and a great team as well. Should be a great series. You know, no matter what, Knicks fans will be outside. They will be in the streets making their voices heard. And the 4 teams remaining are playing for this, the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Thank you for being here, Larry. This will be the 7th. What's so funny about that? I mean, you got to talk. I just go to the Knicks.
Larry
Go to
would
the
have said,
Knicks.
thank you for having me. Then what would you have done?
Yeah, we need you to voice it. This will be the 7th straight year with a new champion in the NBA.
Wow.
Parity is alive and well.
Wow, you buried the lead there.
Yeah, well, I got to keep you interested. There's your stat as I get out of here. There you go. All right, Larry, let's go.
Hey, you can't don't touch Larry. Don't touch
All
Larry.
right, I don't have the gloves.
I know, really. We got the guards all around. Thank you, Will, as always. Coming up on our GMA Morning menu, Hailey Bieber sharing her frightening experience with a very rare postpartum hemorrhage and the difficulties she's had with people questioning her marriage.
Also ahead, as the school year wraps up, how to prevent the summer slide when kids lose much of what they've learned in class.
Plus, Kristin Davis is here telling us all about the new season of And Just Like That, and how we'll see a new side of Charlotte. And Lara's with some special guests for our Lilo and Stitch takeover. Hey, Lara.
We are so excited. I'm here with Maia Kealoha and some of the biggest Lilo and Stitch fans. And you guys, thank you. They brought me some popcorn. So happy. You guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that? He's here. They told me they were going to do this, and it still terrified me. Fun. He's coming, guys. Stay with us on GMA.
Rainy Wednesday here in Times Square. We're going to be back with our GMA cover story right now. Model Hailey Bieber on the cover of Vogue, talking about her scary ordeal with a postpartum emergency complication and revealing more about motherhood and her marriage to Justin Bieber. Rhiannon Alley is here with all the details for us. Good morning, Rhiannon.
Good morning, Robin. Motherhood and parenthood, really, is full of the unexpected. But Hailey Bieber says that's what scares her the most. And for Hailey, it started at the beginning because she says giving birth was the hardest thing she's ever done.
This morning, Hailey Bieber opening up about a postpartum complication, telling Vogue, "I was bleeding really badly and people die and the thought crosses your mind." Bieber experiencing a postpartum hemorrhage after the birth of her son Jack Blue, with husband Justin Bieber saying the complication was a little bit scary, but I trust my doctor with my life, and so I had peace that I knew she would never let anything happen to me. Postpartum hemorrhage is categorized by excessive blood loss after the birth of a baby and happens in approximately 1 to 5% of women.
Rotisserie chicken vibes.
The 28-year-old, who also suffered a mini stroke in 2022, recovering from the hemorrhage with help from doctors, reflecting on the birth experience, telling the magazine, "Giving birth was the hardest thing I've ever done." Bieber says postpartum was the most sensitive time I've ever gone through in my life. And in the midst of it, a flurry of speculation from the public on her relationship with her husband and the singer's mental health.
Better make up your mind, what do you mean?
If you think about what's happening to your body postpartum, that's a lot to go through. And then you combine that with every tabloid you see and all of these people you've never met online saying that your husband hates you. It's an extraordinary circumstance, certainly, to have that kind of attention and that kind of negativity surrounding you at such a vulnerable moment. And I think she's really rooted herself in her family, in her friends, in her relationship, in her baby. And that's been a great source of strength.
Hailey telling Vogue 8-month-old Jack Blue is her priority and that her husband is an amazing dad.
She called the last 9 months since baby Jack Blue was born the most sensitive time she has ever gone through, saying she has been learning this whole new version of herself as a mom. And it's been really hard doing that while seeing all those divorce rumors on the internet. She called it a crazy life to live, guys.
She just hugged that little precious baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Rihanna, thank you. How about a little pop news there, Lara?
You got it, Robin. Good morning, everybody. We're going to begin with a fitting tribute to actor George Wendt, who played beloved barfly Norm on the iconic sitcom Cheers. The bar in Boston, the show is based in placing a beer on the bar in front of the seat Norm claimed as his own, and bars across the country showing their respect as well. So sweet. This morning, Wendt is being remembered by his friends and co-stars John Ratzenberger, who played Norm's sidekick mail carrier Cliff Clavin, saying in a statement, George brought Norm to life with a subtle brilliance, the kind that made it look easy. That was his gift. And Rhea Perlman, who played the sarcastic waitress Carla, writes, George was the sweetest, kindest man I ever met. It was impossible not to like him. Wendt was last seen on stage less than a year ago at the Emmys, where that iconic bar was recreated for a cast reunion. George Wendt was 76 years old.
He really touched a lot of folks.
He did. Such a brilliant comic actor.
Yeah.
Also in the news this morning, the Gracie Awards, the 50th annual Gracie Awards, were held last night, celebrating outstanding achievement in media for women. Jimmy Kimmel's Live's executive producer, Molly McNearney, was honored with the Writer Unscripted Award. And our own senior political correspondent, Rachel Scott, took home the Reporter Correspondent Award. And on the red carpet, she thanked the women in media who have paved the way for her.
I mean, my role models, Diane Sawyer, Martha Raddatz, you know, who continue to defy the odds again and again. It's because of them that I'm able to exist in a room like this. And so being here tonight, I think about all the women that paved the way for me, and I hope that I can open up the door for others too.
And we know she will. Also in attendance, Deborah O'Connell, president of ABC News Group and Disney Entertainment Networks and Disney Entertainment, and Katina Arnold, vice president of corporate communications for ESPN. In total, the Walt Disney Company did very well. They won 23 Gracie Awards last night. Congratulations to all the winners.
Congrats.
Go, Rachel. Go, Rach. And then finally, as we head into Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial kickoff to summer season, it's time to get your barbecue playlist ready. And Spotify, they've got you covered, revealing their predictions for 2025 Song of the Summer. Their top picks include this. Very nice. Alex Warren's Billboard chart topper, Ordinary. And they say another must download is this one.
Yeah.
Yes, please, Benson Boone. His single, Mystical Magical, from his upcoming album, American Heart. Please come on, GMA. Also making the top cut.
I'm about to party on you. Watch me party on you, yeah.
All right, I feel that. Come on now, Robin.
You're on your own.
Are you laughing at me?
No, I like
You got
it.
this, Larry. You got this, Larry. You got it. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. Yeah. Come on.
Okay, listen. Until you dance, you cannot.
No opinion until you bust a move, George.
That's right.
That's Party for You by Charlie XCX. And then Lord is back with a hit. Here it is. Oh, come on now, Lord.
Keisha, like
I agree, Spotify. Yeah, so does Keisha. Stage manager Keisha is.
Ooh, close.
Yes,
Ooh.
I like it. All right, so that was What Was That? And Spotify fully agrees you cannot have a summer playlist without some Bad Bunny on it. They predict this one is the one to download. Nueva Yo. Keisha. I wish we had a camera on Keisha.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We got one now. Come on, Keisha. There you go.
I knew it. See? America, you see? There's the
instigator.
Yes.
I just want you to know when you see.
Busted.
All right, so those you guys are on the list. You can find the whole summer playlist, and there are some great recommendations
Okay. I like
on
that.
Spotify right now, and that is Pop News, guys.
Thank you, Lara.
Yeah, I am here with the breakout star of Lilo and Stitch, Maia Kealoha, who plays Lilo in a new live-action movie. And the fans are so excited about this movie. Give Maia a round of applause. The fans are so excited about this movie that some are here to celebrate with us. So welcome to all of you. And we have a special guest in the audience as well. Hi, Stitch.
Good morning!
Good morning. I like that. Good morning, America. We got a little shout out for Stitch. You love that too?
Uh-huh.
You know, you're good morning. Okay. You're amazing, by the way, Maia. I've been watching you all over talking about this movie and your excitement about it. You got everybody so excited and your energy is just amazing. But you worked really hard to get this part. I heard you auditioned 15 times before you got it. So when you did get it, who did you call? Who was the first person you called to say, I got it?
It was my dad's mom and dad. Because they were super close to our house, I just had to tell them, but I picked them that I act like, oh, I didn't get it, and then I act like, I did get it, I got it!
And we're all happy you got it. So how many times have you seen the original Lilo and Stitch movie?
5,000.5 million for 0.5 million 5.
5,000.5 million.5 million 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll figure that out later.
Okay.
All right, but we're going to take a look at a clip of the movie. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Put it down.
Lisa?
Yes.
Naka, Baba Ita?
You.
No. Pizza so, Maja Sanji ba. It's a bam, 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 bam. And then it's a
No.
Ah.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 3, Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
1.
All right, you did that soda that soda gun. Oh, she's excited. You did that soda gun scene all in one take. You know, how hard was that to do in one take?
It was so hard to do it in one take because, you know, when you get wet, you get wet. Like, if you want to get dry, you need to get dried off.
Yeah.
And like get in your clothes again, stuff like that. That's what I have to do at the beach. So when I did that scene, you were right, that actually was the first take that I've ever done in the whole entire movie. So if I like messed up or anything, I would get wet.
And you didn't want to do that more than
No,
once.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
I don't blame you.
Thanks.
And you know what? Since you filmed this movie, you became a big sister. Congratulations. How's that working out?
Amazing. It's like I was taking care of Stitch and now I'm taking care of another Stitch. Oh, is that me and him?
That's you and your little brother. He's 2 years old now. Is he taking all your stuff? Is he like in the middle of all your things?
Yeah.
Well, it's worth it, right?
It's worth it.
And you know, you got a lot of fans here this morning. And Elvis has a question for you. Elvis, where you at? Stand up, my friend. What you got, Elvis? What's your question?
Do you have a favorite Stitch moment from the movie? Yes, I do. Whoa, I don't know why I said yes, I do. I have a lot of Stitch moments. I like it when he crashes on Earth, and then because that's when I usually say my wish to him, but I like it when he says, "Miga, la rooster."
You can do the voice, so I can tell you right now. Well, let me tell you, Maia, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Give me 5. You know what? And all you kids in our audience, you're going to get your own Stitch, by the way. So we got you covered. And everybody at home, Lilo and Stitch open in theaters nationwide on Friday. Check out my girl Maia, okay? And coming up, Kristin Davis.
Welcome back to GMA, live from Times Square.
We're back now on GMA. And just like that, the Sex and the City spinoff is back for season 3.
Yes.
And
So
Kristin
happy.
Davis, who plays Charlotte, is here to talk all about it. Welcome back to GMA.
Thank you, Michael. Well done.
All right, very serious question.
Okay.
What's going to surprise fans about Charlotte this season?
Well, they're always coming up with new ways to challenge Charlotte, and definitely we have some challenges. You know, Charlotte's got 2 kids, and they're older, and they're always throwing her curveballs, so that goes on. And then later in the season, there's kind of a bit of a shocking challenge, and you know, we have to see Charlotte find a new way to handle it, and she does, of course. You know.
Yeah, we're trying to read the tea leaves right now.
I know. I'm trying not to say too much. I know. You'll see. You'll see. But she, you know, Charlotte's always going to do her best, and she's always going to try to take care of everyone.
She's so lovable.
That's true.
Thank you.
She really
She's a
is.
great character.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
Can we take a little bit of a look here?
Of course. Yeah. The woman was unhinged. I mean, she was practically foaming at the mouth.
People are crazy now. They're crazy. I saw 2 vegans get into fisticuffs on the smoothie line at Whole Foods.
I mean, how dare she? You can't just accuse an innocent dog of assault. I'm sorry, that never happened.
Mom, believe women.
Please don't give me that now. I need to see her proof. Where is her proof?
Could the dog walker have gone rogue and let him off leash? I mean, all we really know about the guy is that he wears cargo shorts and is wildly overpaid.
Your entire cast. You are so blessed.
Thank
so
you, we
very,
really
very
are.
fortunate. Okay, so Charlotte, the character, plays your kids are teenagers. Now, in real life, your children are a little bit younger.
Right.
You do have a 13-year-old, but does playing a teen mom kind of prep you?
You know,
for
in
those teen
some
years?
ways, I mean, it's a lot less responsibility to be playing a mom than to be a mom, right? But the thing that I like about Charlotte as a mom is that she kind of has expectations, and her kids definitely shift those expectations, and I think that is very true for life. You really never know what your kids are going to be into, and you have to kind of, you know, like expand. Like my youngest is very into basketball, so I'm a basketball mom now, and I'm always trying to get advice from the basketball dads, like what should I be having him work on in practice, you know, like, you know, I'm trying to learn, and I get that from Charlotte. She's always trying to figure out, like, how can I be a better mom to these children, you know?
Absolutely.
Sarah Jessica was here the other day. She said you brought your mom skills to set. You're the in-house physician?
I know. I told her I'm full for my first week of new patients. I saw her yesterday. I was like, thank you so much for the recommendation. What she means is I'm one of those people who's allergic to everything, right? So I study ingredients. I'm one of those. So everyone, you know, you're on set, you have all the products, all the makeup, all the stuff. So everyone's like, what do you use? What do you like? Blah, blah, blah. So we're always like, let's study this. Which thing has the good ingredients? You know, which thing has the irritating ingredients? So it's like that. I'm like a pharmacy.
It's like girl bonding, right?
It is.
It's like that around here as well.
It is. You can relate.
Congratulations on your podcast.
Thank
we all
you.
love the name. Are you a Charlotte?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody asks that question, right? Which of the characters are they? Can you tell us about the dream guest that you just got?
I got my dream guest, which is Megan Thee Stallion.
Wow.
I know. Very exciting. We had met her at an event in the fall when we were working, and she's just so fun, and I love her so much, and she has such strong opinions about the show. She recently discovered Sex and the City.
Oh.
Isn't that funny?
That's funny.
She said,
Well,
like,
she's
no
younger.
one told
Yeah, I was
me.
gonna say she's
Definitely.
older.
But I mean, like, she said, I had no idea how good it was. I was like, amazing.
I'm living it again with my daughter Kate, who's 20,
Really?
and she is obsessed and wants to dissect each episode.
I
and
love
the whole
it.
Aiden versus Big question.
Yes, this
so
is a
it's
big
really fun, and the
question.
show just has legs.
It is fun to watch our daughters grow up on it
They
again.
just
I love
adore
it.
it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We
Well,
never
congrats on
thought
getting your
this would
dream
happen.
guest.
Thank you. It's
Is she
really
the big
fun.
question? Is she a Charlotte? I'm
No.
guessing no.
But that's okay. No judgment. Do you know what I mean? Everyone is welcome.
Yep.
All people who identify with whichever character.
You're going to have no shortage of guests who are going to want to be on your podcast.
Thank you. It's been really fun so far. Yeah.
Well, it's fun to have you here, and you're welcome to come back here and be a guest anytime you want.
Well, thank you. I will.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristin.
Great to see you.
And just like that, I love that title. I just love
I
saying
know.
it.
It's easy, isn't
Just rolled off the tongue.
Yep.
And just like that, season 3 premieres next Thursday, May
Cannot
29th
wait.
on Max. Make sure you check it out.
Our new series, Strong Mama, about the challenges new moms face. And this morning, we're going to first focus on the physical changes. It's the moment so many families dream of, getting that positive pregnancy test.
It's crazy how something can bring you so many emotions. Like you're excited, you're nervous, you're scared, but then you're just so happy.
Hailey Vidal and her husband Matthew welcomed baby girl Maylene in October. During her pregnancy, Ketsaile stayed active, maintaining her routine of Zumba, walking, and strength training. But after undergoing a C-section in her recovery, she says she was confronted with an unfamiliar body.
It was really tough to not be able to do the simplest things. It made me feel sad, like, wow, I can't do this. Am I ever going to be able to?
New research finds that just 2 hours of moderate exercise per week can significantly improve the health and well-being of new mothers, emphasizing that any movement counts during the demanding postpartum period. For the 32-year-old, it was all about giving herself grace and trying again.
When I got emotional that I couldn't do something, it was like, okay, I feel the sadness. It's done. I can't change it. How can I now move forward?
Today, nearly 7 months postpartum, she is still building back her strength, modifying her workouts, and taking it day by day.
I'm proud of myself and I'm happy. My goal is not really to get to where I was before pregnancy, is just to be kind of the best version of myself every single day.
I loved hearing her say, I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
Where are my manners? Robin Arzone, our fabulous contributor, is here. You have shared so much. You have shared so much on your social pages going through pregnancy and that. And movement. You've said this over and over again. It's so key. So take people through the steps, okay? You find out you are pregnant. What do you do?
First of all, congratulations.
Yes.
And you're going to be adjusting to a new normal, right? And it's really important, if you are a mover, if you consider yourself an athlete, keep moving, mama to be, because that is so good for you. It's so good for baby. It's great for your mental health. And it really is going to aid you in the evolution of pregnancy, which can certainly be a journey. It's, of course, important to consult with your doctor and focus on things that you can do rather than what you can't. I feel like a lot of the conversation is often maybe fear-based around don't do this, don't do that.
Right.
But what can we do? A lot of movement. For example, you would swap crunches for deep breathing or a bird dog. I, for example, continue to teach at Peloton, walking, running, lifting weights. Lifting weights is actually incredibly important, and I highly recommend it to do it, from someone like myself who is pre and postnatal trained.
Right.
But that's going to prepare you for the physical demands of pregnancy, childbirth, and of course, once baby is here.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. And it's like if you know your body and you know what you can and can't do, and you have to modify a little bit there. So you've had the baby. There's a lot going on. There is a lot going on with your body. You got a new person in the house and all that. So how do you adjust with your workout then?
Yeah, you've just birthed a roommate or two.
Yeah, right.
So it's important to ease in. Of course, we want to acknowledge that every pregnancy and every childbirth experience is different. Every child is different. So meet yourself where you are, with grit, with grace, but you're easing in. Body weight, movements count. Walking is amazing.
Yeah.
Getting out in some fresh air, put the baby in a carrier, get some steps. I think especially for folks who were were athletic during pregnancy, that postpartum period can be very confronting. At least it was for me. I felt extremely vulnerable and I felt weak.
Yeah.
And that brought me to a place where I just said consistency over intensity. What are the little bite-sized nap time hustles, I called them?
Yeah.
5-10 minutes of movement, body weight. You're really aiming to reconnect with your core and your pelvic floor, which of course are impacted by pregnancy. And then you're focusing on rebuilding your posterior chain. I find that glutes and back are two areas that are neglected for new moms. And those are the activities of daily living. You're over the bathtub, you're picking up baby, you're picking up toys, you've got a stroller in your hand. These are demanding. And then of course, eventually reigniting the flame. You will feel at home in your body again, mama, but it's little by little amounting to a lot.
I know, and I'm glad that you said that those little things that you're doing around the house can incorporate, because you think, I got to be in the gym. No, you can do things right there in your own home. And I love how you said grace. Give yourself grace. How were you able to do that?
Oh, well, my self-talk. I find that movement aids in metabolizing and dealing with the big feelings and the hormonal shifts in all areas of life, but especially postpartum. And that self-talk was a little bit kinder. I tried to speak to myself like I would a friend. And movement really helped give me that grace and those moments where you want to feel like yourself again. Yeah. And it's okay to want that for yourself amidst the joy of new baby.
Sure. And you know, mamas when they got that little newborn, they're like, I don't have the time. How are you able to find the time for yourself?
You're carving out 5-10 minutes, right?
Okay.
So it's releasing this idea that it needs to be a 45, 60-minute workout, leaving you thrashed on the floor to count, right? So can you claw back 5-10 minutes? Can you incorporate baby in some of the movements, like going outside for those walks? Maybe they're in the stroller taking a nap, and you do some wall push-ups, or you do some dips on a park bench. And of course, we're moving to feel empowered, and we're aiming for consistency over intensity, especially in those early postpartum days.
Yeah, because I always say progression, not perfection.
Yes.
You know, just this is a little progress, a little here and there. Okay, so now we dealt with the physical. We're going to see Robin again tomorrow. She's going to be back, and we're going to talk more about navigating the mental health for expectant and new moms. Love the series. It's always working with you. All right.
Okay, we got a parenting alert now. It's on the summer slide, when kids lose some of what they've learned over the school year during summer break. According to recent studies, students can lose up to a third of the academic progress they made in math and reading during summer vacation. So our parenting expert, Erica Suter, is here with some tips on all this. Okay, Erica, thanks for coming in this morning. Let's start out with, what are the warning signs the slide may be taking hold?
Right. Well, there's certain kids who are more vulnerable to it, so you want to take a look at whether or not they avoid reading. If over a period of time, like a long weekend, they need a lot of review for the work that they learned the week before. You also want to take a look at if they avoid math games, or if they have no interest in learning activities in general. All those things tell us that, you know what, our kid may need a little help over the summer, staying motivated and staying on top of the game.
You want the summer to be fun. You want the kids to have a summer, but how can you do that but still keep kids mentally alert?
Look, I'm a huge fan of math workbooks, but as soon as my 8-year-old sees them, he goes hiding, rolls his eyes. He hates it. So you want to mix it in with a little bit of fun. You want to make the homework seem more like play. So for example, kids do lemonade stands where they can actually do the math, right? And you want to read books together and discuss the characters. And you also want to do something like, when you cook, double the recipe and have them figure out how that works. It's actually really fun. And even on road trips, you can have geography lessons or do storytelling about the places that you've been. All those are ways to teach your kids something and hide it.
In a very organic way.
Yes.
Absolutely. The perennial question for all parents these days, how to deal with screens.
Yeah, you know, you really want to, screens, there's going to be an uptick in the use of screens. That's the reality of it. But there's a way for us to shape their screen use during the summer. So number one, put some rules in place. You have to read a couple of chapters before you can have your screen, or you have to play a board game with your brother, or, you know, you have to go and do some chores first or hang out outside. And what's most important, I love it when my kids say they're bored. You know, embrace the boredom. Great things come out of boredom. They read books, they build things, they play in the mud or the dirt, or they climb things. And those are really important skills for our kids to build also in
you have to
summer.
learn to tolerate that. Erica, thanks very much. Thanks for coming in. Coming up, how to bring summer to your doorstep.
All right, now to staying stocked up for summertime with the holiday weekend just around the corner. Will Gans is with us now with a way to get your Memorial Day must-haves and get them fast. Hi.
Hi. 'Tis the season for a little summer fun, and I am so excited about summer. Spending more time outside doing what we love. This segment is sponsored by Shipt, a delivery service that can bring you what you need to your doorstep. And they have a special announcement for people with a Target Circle 360 membership. Members now have access to Shipt's network of 100 plus retailers. Count them up, 100 plus. No price markup, saving you time and money on each order.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. So I'm all about saving time. What comes with this membership? Get specific for me.
All right, let's get specific. Target Circle 360 has previously offered same-day delivery from Target, but now offers delivery from other grocery, pet, beauty, and home retailers through Shipt with personalized deals. Heads up, this does not include select alcohol retailers. Scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about the membership.
Okay, all right. So what about for a great trip to the beach? What can we get?
As a wise Nicki Minaj once said, let's go to the beach.
Oh,
all right,
yes.
and where do you start? You got to start with the beach bag. Check out these bags. These are so
cute.
2 different sizes, a few different color options as well. And you don't want to feel too overloaded, feel too heavy going to the beach. So lots of travel size options of lotions, of sunscreen, hand sanitizer. Plus, there's tech options. You can stay charged up.
I love the fan that goes around the neck. We
BYOBF, bring your own Beyonce fan. I love it. You got to keep the hair flowing. And if you want to unplug, maybe you don't want to stay charged up and juiced in, you can disconnect with some of these excellent summer reading options.
Reading options as well. All right, so how about turning your backyard into a summertime bash?
Okay, yeah. So I'm obsessed with these chairs. They're lightweight.
May I?
Please, of course.
Thank you.
May I also offer you a beverage or two? I love a sparkling seltzer as well. These are options. Also, salty snacks too. And then you can throw everything in that super cute cooler. How cute is that?
Yeah,
seafoam?
I love that. All right, and you can get all of this with Shipt.
That's exactly right. You can shop all of these products and more by going to the QR code on your screen and enjoy an effortless summer.
Thank you very much. I
want to sit with you.
I was going to say, can you please come
Let's
down?
get cozy.
All right. We sure will. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Shipt. That's a beautiful hotel, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.